What's going on, guys? My name is Frito, also known as the self-proclaimed motherfucking king of bashing momentators and booster gameplay players, joined today with who I'm going to call the king of elite operations, Trademark himself. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? Glad to be here. My name is Trent, aka O Trademark, and if you've heard of me recently, it's probably been because of the Wings J Nasty drama. I am on J Nasty's team, and yesterday Wings of Redemption backed out of the 6v6 that we had set up, and I created a video called Wings Your Bitch, and it got a lot of attention. It also got Wings' attention, and we've been going back and forth on Twitter. And basically, I think that's a really poor decision by Wings. You know, I think it's a bad decision because I think after all the shit that he talked and all of the hype that he's created around the Wings and J Nasty, I think at a certain point there's a no turning back point, and I think he reached that. And I think he just needs to go forward with it in a graceful manner, and I think it will be a lot less detrimental to him if he handles it that way than the way he's handling it right now.
And you know, I'm pretty sure there's nobody that I've heard of that can really defend his backing out. But, and I think the main thing we, as a community, need to all admit and say is nobody really cared about him losing the Syndicate, which clearly he doesn't understand.
Yes, and so many people have actually told him this. Thunder touched on it, but no one cares that Wings lost the Syndicate. What they cared about is when Wings was like, "Why'd you stream that shit?" and broke his controller. I mean, it was the rage and the way that he acted after he lost that everyone had an issue with.
And entertained by. That was entertaining as hell.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the majority of the negative attention that he got from that situation was because of his reaction, not because of the loss. And I guarantee if he lost to J Nasty's team in the 6v6, if he participated, he would get a little bit of hate right after it happened. People would say, "Oh, ha, you talk crap and then you lose." But if he was to end that game and say, "Hey, you know what? Good game," and if he was a good sport about it, and if he said, "Yeah, you know what? I underestimated your guys' ability as players," and if he was just say that and be humble about it, he would come out of it so much better than what he's doing right now by just backing out of it completely.
In my opinion, he shouldn't worry about losing the 6v6 anyway, because there's a bigger thing at stake, the whole entertainment aspect, the pushing the esports initiative with more competitive large teams, you know, making that the forefront. But I think it gets down into the guise and the illusion that the everyday YouTube viewer has on these gameplays and these high scores and the expectancies of how good a player should be based on what they can produce in a gameplay that he's afraid of. And I think that needs to change, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, Wings even made a video about that. He said this is what this community needs, is competition. It needs strong teams playing other strong teams. And I don't think he really understands what he's saying, because when two really good teams face off, one team has to lose, and no one's gonna care. No one cares when two pro teams match up against each other that one loses. They expect that when two really good teams come out of it, they expect a good fight, you know, a good match, and they want, you know, one's gonna come out a winner, one's gonna come out a loser, right? And I don't think he will get a lot of hate from losing to a solid team. I really don't.
And I think that's where this is actually moving into, though. I mean, it's no different than following your favorite sports team that has a bad year or many bad years. If you're like I think it's so hilarious watching El Presidor videos when he rants about the Cleveland Browns. Like it's that kind of thing. You don't necessarily have to be the greatest player in the world to have a following in that regard. And I think the YouTube illusion of the expectancy of every good player should go 30-1 KD in a given game is going to have to diminish, at least at some level, in the fact when there's two teams competing against each other who are competent and know what they're doing, rather than just scraping scrubs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's actually how I met Frito, was I found a video of his on TSG, and I started talking to him about how Moab mentators, which I guess is a term that Frito founded.
You're damn right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So, and I think we had kind of met halfway on an agreement that even though Moab Mantators might be skilled, they don't actually prove that skill, and it's not tried and tested when all they're doing is beating up on really bad kids at the game. Am I correct in saying that?
Oh yeah, but as opposed to like your clan or your clan op operations, it's a completely different thing. I mean, you want to explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. So for those of you who don't know, I've won a 2011 Black Ops Jeep Wrangler and over $40,000 worth of prizes playing in these COD Elite Lone Wolf operations. And I'm part of the Wicked Elite, Wicked Shrapnel's clan, and we're the second most winning COD Elite clan on Xbox 360. And basically what these operations are is they're 3-hour timed competitions where you try and get the most kills or most captures or most defends or most whatever objective in that set time period. And because everyone competes in the same time slot and it's such a long window, it's not like your best game out of those 3 hours. You have to consistently pub stomp at the highest level for 3 hours straight in order to win some of these operations.
Whereas opposed to getting these ridiculous, 200 kills in a domination game or multiple Moabs in one game, those are highlights of like a gaming session over probably like 12 hours maybe, and that's a completely different scenario, and that's the heart of what irritates me, because we look at those highlights and we get impressed, but it's not an accurate representation and challenge of that skill. Whereas I would completely agree that the clan ops, or whatever they're called, elite clan ops, are the highest level of pub stomping you can get.
I do agree with you. I mean, I think everyone will agree that pretty much anyone that's competent in this game can go into public matchmaking with a full team of 6, and if they play enough games, they'll get into a lobby with bad enough players that they're playing against that they can post some ridiculous scores and multiple Moab gameplay. But what I was kind of getting at in our whole comment war that we had is that there are some players out there that are so good at pub stomping and so consistent in that pub stomping that it shows skill. One such player is PwnStars.com, who I've said I believe is the best pub player in all of Modern Warfare 3, and he consistently wins these lone wolf operations and just destroys kids pub stomping. And
the difference between that I totally respect that as a league on its own, but what we're going to start to see progressing into Black Ops 2 is a new niche market, I feel, for this competitive scene, which has the two full teams of players rather than the lone wolf, which is attempting to pub stomp harder than everybody else. Once in a while you get that good competitive team, that makes you work for that win, and that's what we're going to start to see in Black Ops 2, hopefully. And I think in order for the YouTube community and everybody who plays Call of Duty to get an experience and opportunity to find out what real competition looks like, because you're not really going to learn much from watching a guy get 10 Moabs in a game. That's not going to do much for you. But if you start to see how someone deals with another team setting up on a map and going after objectives and playing to win, that is the true, the highest form of skill, is in that teamwork, in that organization. And that's what we're going to see in Black Ops 2. And I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you, with the skill-based matchmaking and whatnot.
Oh, I am super excited for Black Ops 2 League Play, which is what you're referring to, because League Play finally gives us that sealed stamp of approval, right? I mean, when you get your league icon, which I think the top league is the Pro League, the top 1% or 2% of the players in the world, you finally have that official stamp on your skill to say, hey, look, I am in the top tier of all Call of Duty players worldwide. And I think that's going to be really cool. And, if YouTubers want to be out there and say that they're good, they're going to have to compete in League Play or only post pub gameplays.
And they'll be called out for it, though. You can't at the same time say that you're really good and only play the public setting. That's what I'm most looking forward to, is that opportunity to say, well, why aren't you playing League if you're so good?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If they don't post League or at least get that stamp, they'll be called out on it. And I mean, lots of players will still post pub gameplays. I will still post pub gameplays because I enjoy occasionally going out there, getting matched up against a bunch of randoms and just beating the crap out of them for a little bit, right? But I also enjoy that competitive atmosphere, that competitive element. And the ability to get an official ranking and official league icon. So that's really cool. I'm super excited for that, but we're just about out of time, guys. So last thing I just want to say, Wings, I really think you are making a big mistake here. I think that you could go into this, you could participate, and whether you win or lose, you could come out of it a humble, good sport about it, and I think you could gain a whole lot more from participating than what you're doing right now by backing out. You have the ability to really start this competitive aspect out before Black Ops 2 even launches, and I really hope you participate. So anyways, that's it for me. I'm Trent, aka O Trademark. Malo Alpito. I'm out of here.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this dual commentary. Both our links will be in the description of this video. Thank you, Thunder, for uploading this to TSG. My name is Frito, and I don't do outros.